Andre Ward. Andre Ward, we don't never talk about him, even though he retired undefeated. He beat a lot of a lot of good fighters, and we need to talk about him and give him his just due also. But the other night, when I seen that fight, just when I go back and look at that fight, I feel that it would have been a lot more exciting if Loma got started earlier. But at the end of the day, my thing is this. I think he could have been worried about the power. Now, you can't be worried about what nobody say on the outside. You know, you got to train. That's why Tank, we got him in the gym right now. We got Tank in the gym right now. So he trained because he expected many different looks. So many different looks. You don't know what Leo you may get. You may get a Leo that's on his toes boxing. Right. So that's why Tank has so many different looks in his training camp. But I take my hat off to all these fighters. You know, I had my day in the sport, and even like a lot of times when they was talking about comparing Loma to me, when you got I didn't have to have 500. I didn't have to have 500 amateur fights, and he done something that I wasn't able to do. Right. He was able to win 2 gold medals, which is a huge accomplishment. Right. Just to go to the Olympics is something huge in itself. And they said, well, guess what? He fought. He was the quickest to win a world title than any other fighter. Man, once you fight 300 amateur fights, you're a professional anyway. You're a professional anyway, and you cannot compare. You cannot compare a fighter like Loma to me, or a fighter like Ali, or a fighter like Sugar Ray Leonard. You know the reason why? Because we won our first fight. We won our second fight. Right. We won our third fight. So I'm not going to take nothing from Teofimo for what he did the other day. But remember, this guy already had a loss to Salido, and Salido wasn't, quote unquote, the best guy in the world. Correct. He was solid, and he won a title before, but he wasn't the best guy in the world. Congratulations, you know, to all the young fighters, you know, that's making big moves in the sport of boxing. I must commend all the young fighters that's up and coming. Take my hat off to them and say, you know, congratulations just on all your accomplishments, all the young fighters at lightweight. Not just at lightweight, just in boxing period. So I just want to say congratulations to all the fighters. The sport of boxing is about testing yourself against the best. And if you beat the best at your weight class, you must move to another weight class. So Leo was the best at one weight class. He moved to another. He dominated. He moved to another. He dominated. And that's what this sport is about. Taking chances and taking a huge risk to be the best. I did the same thing. I was at 130. I beat the best at 130. I went to 35. I beat the best at 135. I went to 40. And at that time, the biggest name at 140 at that particular time was Arturo Gatti. Now, he probably wasn't the best fighter, but that was the biggest name. And the biggest fight to be made at 140 at that particular time was me and Arturo Gatti. Correct. So we made that fight happen. Then eventually, I couldn't get Constant Tszyu for that fight to happen. The Constant Tszyu fight wasn't able to happen. So you know what I did? I said, let me go to 147 and take a risk and roll the dice. I went to 47. I fought Zab, and then, you know, of course, Zab was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was the last undisputed champion at 147 pounds. And then eventually I moved to 154, fought Oscar at a weight that he wanted to fight at. And then when I take a chance or a risk and go up and fight a guy, they're gonna say, you know what, he's over the hill. And I want to say the fight the other day was a hell of a fight. Congratulations to the winner. He done his job. He went out there and did what he had to do. But if Devin Haney is the WBC champion at lightweight, right? And Gervonta Tank Davis is the WBA champion. Now, it's safe to say that Teofimo is the champion he's the champion, the IBF and the WBO champion. But I can't knock what he has done, because I have to take my hat off to him, you know, for what he has done. And then we talk about different fighters proving themselves. There's no different from Marquez. They're going to say, oh, Mayweather was the bigger guy. Remember, at one particular time, in 1996, before I went to when I was in the Olympics, I fought at 125 and a half. It's 125 and a half because it's 57 kilograms. So in that same year, I turned professional at 130. So we can't keep talking about guys, this guy is a small guy. To be the best, you must take risks, you must take chances, and if it takes going up in weight or going down in weight, that's the sport of boxing. That's how boxing works. And we look at Manny Pacquiao. He done the same thing. He takes chances, but then when he loses to me, guess what they say? Mayweather was the, he was the bigger fighter. It's always a catch-22 when it comes to me. So once again, I don't want to knock no fighter, but I'm tired of seeing fighters after the fight. Everybody got a championship belt now. Now boxing, all these belts is like trophies. The WBC, the WBA, the IBF and the WBO, y'all gotta clean this shit up. That's no different from Canelo. Canelo was able to jump weight classes. You know why? You look, you say, well, Canelo, when he faced me, they said, well, you beat Canelo at a catch weight. Remember this, you go back and you read the articles. Before you can speak on anything, you must do your homework. Okay. Canelo was the one that said he wanted to fight me at a catch weight class. So me being a smart businessman, guess what? I'm gonna test you and see if you really want to do it. Now, is he one of the best fighters out there, pound for pound? Absolutely, he's one of the best out there. But we cannot overlook Gervonta Tank Davis. He's also one of the best out there, pound for pound. And you look at him, I believe it's like over a 90% knockout ratio.
95.
95% knockout ratio. So whoever you got to realize this. One thing we know about Gervonta Tank Davis, he got an equalizer in any hand. So he can hit you with any hand, and it could be good night, Irene. Telefilm the other day after the fight, he was like, he said something real. What I didn't do was, when I made my money, I ain't just go buy a car or buy a chain. It took me a while to learn a game. I didn't have a Floyd Mayweather. I wish I had a Floyd Mayweather. And it's another, if I'd had a Floyd Mayweather, I would probably be in a lot better position than I'm in now, because I would know how to move a lot better when I was younger and knew smarter things to do. But Al Heyman, a great businessman. Leonard Ellaby, I must take my hat off to him and the whole Mayweather promotion staff, because while I'm out traveling the world having fun, they take care of the company and they're doing a great job doing that. So I must commend Mayweather Promotions.
This is Don Marlene. You're watching Akhi TV.
This is Richie Comet. Keep watching Akhi TV. Subscribe.
Alex Waity, free bacon, egg, and cheese after my fight. We here with Akhi TV. We out here.
That's what you get if you don't subscribe, huh?
Subscribe, like, you already know, comment.